What is up, everybody? Welcome to New Frontiers. It's a Week 90 Icarus update, and we are going to be going over very shortly some of the new things that they added into New Frontiers and this update. And then, of course, going into more detail with more videos to come here very shortly. So don't forget to subscribe, and we'll have some New Frontiers videos coming your way. But let's get into the update, shall we? So it's here, Icarus, New Frontiers, Week 90 update, New Frontiers. The new major DLC for Icarus is out. It has new harsh biomes, alien creatures, and a new map for open world operations, which are the missions now in open world. Icarus New Frontiers is the first expansion of Icarus Experience and has launched. It begins with a new map with all new biomes, mutated alien creatures, narrative missions, which are really good, known as operations that further unveil the story, and they've integrated it open world game experience with craftables, exotics, and so much more. There is so much in this. We have been going and doing streams, 24-hour streams, if some of you may know, that they no longer exist, unfortunately, but we also have been doing streams and doing all the new content and New Frontiers so we can bring you guys some of the most accurate and up-to-date videos. So sorry for the video being a little bit later than normal, but we have been working very, very hard behind the scenes. So the New Frontiers expansion. First cohort dropped prospectors into a safe Earth-like terraformed zone called First Cohort, and New Frontiers will take you into more regions of Icarus that are more alien and have different habitats that were altered by the terraforming process. New Frontiers is available for $25.49 right now. Get it on sale while it is, if you haven't already, and will be originally available at $29.99, which I personally believe is worth every penny of it, playing as much as I have so far in the past few days. You need to restart Steam or verify files to trigger the New Frontiers update, but New Frontier comes packed with new content and a few surprises to discover. There are a brand new Prometheus map with 3 new biomes, a searingly hot volcanic region, murky swamplands, and eerie grasslands. Plus 10 mutilated alien creatures. The terraforming process drastically impacted the local wildlife, and while it didn't kill the creatures in the zone, it did terribly mutate them. We now have Dreadwings, Lava Hunters, Needlers, Drox, Drifters. Their nicknames only tell half of the story, of course. We have the new red exotics as well, found in exotic flora around the map, and we actually know how to get to those. We will be making a video on that very, very shortly, so stay tuned. The new series of operations narrative missions play out in a sequence story, leading you on a gradually darkening mystery. And Sassy Soul. They have new mission logic and technology, allowing you to launch any mission, big or small, from the open world, and that will be retrofitted to the Olympus and Styx missions in their future Hypatia update. There's 100 plus new items to craft and deploy and use across Icarus, and 5 new raw resources, generating a range of new recipes and tiers: obsidian, scoria, crystallized miasma, and more. With this new currency come 30 plus new items in the orbital workshop for you to purchase, and the system allows you to purchase these on the surface, also via cargo pods. We'll show you that. We're gonna go through here and show you some of these key points here and go over them here very shortly and show you them in game. There's new extreme weather events for each biome, reflective of the atmospheric conditions of each environment, and much more. So they're going to continue doing updates for not only the base game, but also New Frontiers from here on out. And Icarus is a paid expansion, as we mentioned. You'll have to go to the launch page and you can see the sales that they currently have. So they now have open world missions, and they're combining missions and open world together, and it gives you a persistent base experience with the missions. It's so good. They've added the new rare exotics, which you can get from extracting the red exotic trees in the lava biome, and you can also get them from doing the last 3 missions in the open world mission tree. You launch the missions by doing it with a short range radio, and then progress in a tiered mission pattern from there. You could do these missions as a one-off timed mission if you'd like in open world, or you can do it in the mission tree still. It's up to you. There is a ton of performance improvements and increases. Please update your drivers if you have an NVIDIA driver. There is a special driver for NVIDIA for the New Frontiers download. And also there is some little bit of a development. It seems like that Icarus is actually going to get some new drivers from AMD as well, as stated by Dean in one of his live streams. So hopefully we're going to get some AMD love before too long. But it is very well optimized, the game in New Frontiers. We're going to go over the rest of the update here with regular future updates they have coming. Expect lots of new stuff. And of course, they have Hypatia coming soon, which is completely different. We also got huge news that next week's regular weekly update will add metal wind turbines and wind power, plus any fixes and updates for the Prometheus map, which is great. So we're going to have a new power source next week. We also have the bone armor, which is coming as a Twitch drop, which means that you're going to unfortunately have to watch Twitch to do the drop and get the bone armor, but I guess we will. But it will give content creators for Icarus an opportunity to, well, you know, stream Icarus and let people get the drops. So we might actually stream over there and make it a thing. Y'all want to go ahead and get it all knocked out. We do have a Twitch account. It's not like we stream on it, but yeah, if there's any interest in that, comment down below. We're going to go in game and show you some of the most important changes and stuff. So let's go and show you some new stuff and things. So we're going to go over all the new unlocks in New Frontiers, just really quick and mention anything that's new. We have all the tier 2 obsidian items and tools here in tier 2, as well as a obsidian arrow. We have the option also to build the heavy obsidian armors, and this is what they look like right here. They do give a set bonus, which is plus 90% fire resistance while in lava, which is really nice. Especially when you go to the lava biome. That place is a nightmare to traverse. Definitely if you're going to lava biome, bring you some ramps and stuff. We're over in tier 3 right now. We got the new ice borer right here. And that is actually used in the Arctic regions to get super cooled ice. And you need a biocan to run that. Also got cold steel bolts, cold steel items as well. As you can see right here, cold steel tools. And the cold steel tool actually, like for example, the pickaxe, it's used to get frozen ore. And you need that for some missions. You have to build that to get frozen ore. You use the pickaxe and you actually farm ore with it and you get frozen ore. It's a 15% chance. All the new weapons have modifiers on it. For example, the cold steel has the freeze modifier, the movement speed damage deduction, and 25% melee damage as well, deduction with cold steel weapons. We also now have the steel barred building trim set. This is so nice. It looks so good. Requires steel though. But we also have that. We also have the Scoria brick building base set and the clay brick building set as well. And we're going to show you all the building types here very shortly. Also have a new landmine. And the encrypted satellite communicator, which is where you get your missions in open world, as well as an organic residue cleaner. This is a machine that processes volatile exotics into usable materials. You got the new way to harvest red exotics. You go up with this machine into exotic harvester, power it, which is 1500 power, and you put it around an exotic tree in the lava biome. Got miasmic, which is basically like a bleed or rend. And they also have the miasmic physical resistance debuff whenever you apply it. All the miasmic tools. You get miasmic peaks from killing creatures. Obsidian chest armor, which will give you plus 50% explosive resistance and plus 25% volcanic exposure resistance, which is really nice. The volcano area and the lava biome is very hot. And hopefully we didn't miss anything. If we did, you could check it in here. But there are so many new items available in the New Frontiers DLC. We also have the new red exotic, and like I said, we'll have a full video on that, but you do get that with the new exotic harvester at an exotic tree or doing the missions. Let's show you the missions real quick. So this beautiful place is the new grasslands biome. So there's lots of different biomes in this game. You can see that there's 2 Arctic biomes, 2 swamp biomes, 1 large central grasslands biome, and of course a lava biome in the north right hand. And, of course, this is where you'll do the boss as well. We're going to be doing the boss on the stream tonight. If you'd be interested in seeing that, it is a mission, so that does unlock the bosses. Just to let you know, it is the last mission. As we mentioned before, if you go up into the lava biome, and especially in this part right here, it is very hard to traverse. Bring some things to traverse and go up ramps and stuff like that. Bring some stone structures to pave you a road or a way or something like that. The swamp's a little bit different. We'll show you the swamp here shortly. We'll show you all 3 of the biomes also. Just kind of get you a little feel of them. We're not going to spoil everything in the biomes because we don't like doing spoilers too much, but we will show you. But first off, we're going to show you the new building pieces. So this right here is Scoria. And what Scoria looks like. Of course, all 3 of these are made in the new advanced masonry bench. This is Scoria. And this is brick Scoria. And this is clay or brick. And the clay looks, in my opinion, the best. But this is a combination of Scoria and brick. This is just clay. And this is just Scoria. And this is what they look like on the outsides. They do have different durabilities. This one has 3,000. That one's 4,500 because it's reinforced with clay or brick. And this one's 3,500 as well. And of course, they're all just repaired with a hammer. So let's talk about what you guys really probably are worried about. And that's missions in open world. There's multiple ways to get missions now in open world for New Frontiers. The very first way is going to be your short range radio. That's where you're going to start missions at. You could do the old simple missions like so. There's also some introductory missions in the simple communication device that leads you to the higher tier radios like these right here. This is the mid tier. This is how you actually launch missions in open world. And as you can see, we've done quite a few of them. We haven't done them all, of course, but we have knocked out quite a few of them. This one right here is, of course, the one that you do for the boss. There is also quite a few other missions that you could do. We haven't actually completed this because it was bugged. It's not currently bugged anymore. But you see, you get 250 red exotics from completing that mission. And you also get red exotics, I do believe, for these other ones as well. Just kind of look at them and see if they have red exotics as a reward for them. And you could complete them as many times in your open world as you want as well. And this is called the infrasonic relay device. There is a mission that if you progress through the missions in open world, that will get you to make that and do that. Progress through the missions in open world. You get a lot of valuable resources from doing so. Not going to spoil it, but you get a lot of valuable resources to do so. This is the more upgraded version. It's an encrypted satellite communicator, and it does the exact same thing. It does require an active power connection, which we don't currently have because we had to move our base because of reasons. And then all you got to do once it is powered up is just click on it. And it starts a mission. I got Soul's voice kind of muted right now just for reasons, so it doesn't spoil anything for y'all guys. But you can complete the mission just like you would normal missions, and now you can do it in an open world, so it's pretty neat. As you can see, there are multiple storms available now. There's like a hailstorm here in the plains. There's also other storms in the other biome. We're going to show you real quick this little upper Arctic biome right here, and then we're going to go ahead and try to show you real quick this swamp biome. So this is kind of the Arctic biome. You can find super cooled ice in this lake right here and most of the ice lakes. There's also super cooled ice down here and this lake right here at H9. And that's where you can find the super cooled ice. Oh. Bye, kitty. Bad kitty. Go away, bad kitty. Also, if you're looking for wheat, there's tons of wheat in the Arctic biomes on the outsides here. There is yeast and wheat available in the grasslands. And if you're looking for cocoa and some other things, there's definitely materials like cocoa and all that available up into the lava biome. So if you haven't found it yet, it's all available in all biomes. All the new recipes and all the new crops, plus all the stuff they've added, plus all the stuff they had before. It's all the biomes. Just kind of check between the biomes. Some biomes have certain materials now, and we'll probably add that to one of our guides videos that we plan on doing for New Frontiers. Also keep in mind that New Frontier storms are nothing to mess around with. Just like Styx storms, this is a much harder map than Styx as far as the storms go, it seems like. So the storms are very unforgiving. So you might want to have a shelter on you at all times. Make sure you have shelter. It does seem like the storms are a tad bit longer in New Frontiers. While there is a storm outside and while we're recording, I'll show you a really quick view of our open world public base. And we got the brick flooring down here. It's so nice. So nice. We also have this little conch shell here. The little decorative shell. And then there's also a pot. And right here is the little clay plot. The broken pottery. You can make that if you want, and you can also make this little decorative shell. And these are actually crafted over here in the advanced masonry bench. If you get the blueprint for it and unlock everything, you'll see broken pottery and decorative shell, organic resin, clay, scoria, and same thing for the broken pottery. Clay and scoria are actually gathered in the lava biome, and you actually take a hammer, such as this right here, is one of the new additions of the game. Sledgehammers. Sledgehammers are used to actually shatter any resource on the ground that's in kind of like a pit. Once we go to lava biome, we'll show you that. So we also have some new crops that you can actually get and harvest. They're in the workshop as well. You can drop down with a seed packet or use your sickle to get them while they're out in the wild. But there are tomatoes, and you can actually dry tomatoes. You can do a lot of different things with tomatoes to get food with them. And there's also potatoes in the game now. And that's what these little purpley leaf looking things are. They're potatoes. And you can grow those in crop plots. You can use your sickle and gather them. I'm going to dive and I'll go in. And now that this storm of death is over, almost, we're going to try to hit... No, never mind. These storms are kind of crazy. Of course, at any time you're watching this video and you have a question about where something is until we actually bring a guide out for it, comment down below and we will let you know. I promise I will. We have actually went and done a lot of the new DLC so far. Not all of it, but most of it. And we should be able to answer your question for you. We're onward to the new swamp biome. Just come across one of the new creatures. It's called a drac. And this thing is pretty scary at night, actually. It's got some glowing red eyes and whatnot. And this is what it looks like. Kind of more like a wolf. But this is what we thought was bat dog. It's called a drac, D-R-A-C. A hideous mutant now at peace. Do you like to build? Well, New Frontiers has 5,000 places for you to build. They're awesome, nice, and pretty near resources. If I was to suggest what you would build at or where you would build at, I'd build near a water source, probably right here or right here, or in the swamplands. That's another good place to build. There are trees up in there that you can build and make like a tree house. Arctic, yeah, you could. It's very possible to do so, but I don't know if I'd actually build in this the lava biome, at least not up in here, because it'd be so hard to get it back and forth. Maybe you can if you like a challenge, but down in here is where we're gonna build if we do build a lava base, and I'm sure we will. So welcome to the swamp biome. We're going to show you the swamp biome next. As you see, we got a special swamp gale storm going on right here in the swamp biome. Looks like it's almost done, so we're going to continue. In the swamp, there are some things that you need to know about. There are plants around, tons and tons of plants around. This is, of course, where you also find yeast. That's a good place to find yeast. Any of these waters right here, you'll get a slowing debuff when you're in the water, and that slowing debuff is swamp water. It's negative 20% movement speed and 10% sprint speed. So swamp water will slow you down. There's also little special briars around called brambles, and they slow you down as well, and you can just use a sickle or run past them, but they will slow you down also. Also found our first new creature here in the swamp, and it is the swamp roach. Hello, Mr. Roat, Mrs. There's also chala, which are, looks like chamois, basically. Of course, swamp biome's also a place where you can get clay, like this. And you just gotta smosh it with a hammer here, one of the new sledgehammers. And it kind of gives and breaks off like this. And as you can see, that is clay. And you also have in the game great trees that you can sit there and build on top of. They do have collision, except for the very, very tops of them. Be careful of that. But you can also build great large tree houses in the trees in the swamp. Right here we have the new Strider. It's in the swamp as well. We're just going to show you creatures as we come up on them. It's a little non-hostile animal. And you can build little houses, kind of like this, only this one's a little bit damaged. But you can build houses up into the tree houses, like this. Completely out of the way of any kind of enemy. Which is pretty neat. Hey, also, we got little brambles here, and you could use the sickle on those. Let's bring our sickle out here. And you can use a sickle, or you can just kind of run into them, and when you run into them, they kind of, you know, damage you and stuff. Slow you down, do some damage. If you want to get rid of them, use your sickle. Get rid of them. Decrease the population of bramble. Brambles can die. I really hate brambles. Neat addition to the game, though. They give you 5 or 2. Oh, blimey. Looks like we might have us a wild Ubers right here. I'm gonna go jam my thumb. Looks like it might be stuck, actually. But this is what it looks like. Oh god! It's a Visco! Those things are kind of creepy, by the way. And they leave little trails of slime and stuff. Oh god! And they also drop if you skin them, which actually I dropped my knife, unfortunately. But they do give you volatile substance, I think, pretty sure. You can make explosive with these. Oh, and look, more brambles. And right here we have a mammoth stuck in brambles. Poor thing. So yeah, that's what the new mammoth looks like. Kind of looks like a mammoth or a beefcake. Beefcake! Another thing I'll mention to you guys that we found out just from experience is that there are different areas and biomes. So like, for example, this area right here is a biome of itself. It might even be split into other separate sub-biomes, but sub-biomes can have a storm. So for example, you might be able to walk up here and walk in here, there might be a storm, but there may not be a storm over here in this section. So kind of keep that in mind, that the biomes are a lot different and storms are different too. Oh. We found the needler. Oh, oh gosh. Now it does teleport, so be careful. It burrows and comes up and out of the ground, like so. Ooh, okay. Yeah, it does shoot like little spines at you. I think that's what it was doing, but it might have been glitched. But yeah, that's the needler. This right here is the new bunny or pygmy lop. And actually carrying some of these animals will give you a debuff. So if you're kind of looking at carrying an animal around, I would advise against it. The Dreadwings actually like to attack you if you have stuff on you. And also, if you see here, it does give you a movement decrease when carrying an animal, unless you have perks, of course, but you do get a movement speed decrease when carrying an animal. That's the Pygmy Lop. Up here, we have the new elusive Plains Equix. That's what it looks like. There's the Drac with its glowing eyes. And you also still have geysers, which you can do the horde modes and stuff. And we're actually going to do a horde mode Sunday. Yeah, we might be streaming Sundays now. We'll see, but for now we are, for sure. And of course, we can't miss out on the blueback. The blueback is kind of like a tanky version of a buffalo. You can't ride it. You can get a pet one, just spoilers. But I'm not going to tell you how, but you can actually get a pet one that can follow you around and attack. So that is the blueback right there. And we're just going to come right here and go into this little connector here to the lava biome. This is going to connect up into J3, and we'll show you the lava biome real quick. And we just arrived at the lava biome, and we have a sulfuric storm going on right now. So fiber's really hard to get to the lava biome, but if you have a sickle with you, which you probably should at this point anyway, you can get fiber and sticks from these plants right here, the bulbous trees. So if you're looking for something to build with or fiber in this zone, you might want to bring some fiber with you, but this is where you can get some fiber in this area. You can also find soybeans in the lava biome, as well as, like we mentioned earlier, you can find cocoa up here as well. And there is water pools in the lava biome, like this right here. You can drink from it, and it is safe to walk through. That's your source of water. So you're going to find little pits like here, and you're going to see little stones in them. I'll try to find one. This is one that's empty already, but what you do is you'll take your little sledgehammer there and you'll farm them. This is where you get scoria. Let me show you one that's full. Here's one right here. And this is what Scoria looks like in the wild. This is how you get Scoria. You take your little sledgehammer and you just smosh it. Like so. And you'll get Scoria. I think we got about 7 for that one. 8 for that one. And so on. And the same thing for obsidian. You'll be around in some of the harder biomes or harder places in this biome will give you the obsidian, it seems like. And it'll be a black, glassy, protruding geode from the ground that looks like it's at a area like this. And we're taking some damage from this sulfuric storm. Also, keep in mind that currently, I don't know if it's intended or not, but currently storms do damage your armor. So be very careful with that. There's also redbacks as well. We're not going to show you too long because we're dying from exposure, but this is a redback. Be careful because there's also mutant rats around now. They're very, very hard to kill. And you also see that we get some kind of exposure as well. Acid rain exposure removes your stamina speed and all kinds of other stuff. And it does damage you if you have it. As you can see, we're still taking damage even with our exposure to 0. And now it's gone. Be careful often in the caves to the lava biome because you do have lava, and lava is fire. And fire is bad. Do not step in the fire, please. I mean, unless you want to step in the fire, then do. But so we also have the orbital exchange interface playing a very viable role now. So the orbital exchange interface can now actually request a drop pod. Like it was before, where you could put your exotics and whatnot in, wherever it lands, over there. And then you can also request equipment down from the workshop in New Frontiers only. So you could take and buy something from the workshop, like so. We'll just buy those 2 items right there. You can also buy the workshop items and all the new workshop gear. There's quite a bit of it there in there. There's new suits. There's no new armors currently. There's new modules, which are some of them are actually really cool. They require all the new red exotic though. You've got some new gadgets, new water tanks and oxygen tanks, and the beast, which will do some bestiary and give you some bestiary experience. And this is where you can unlock all this stuff planet side and all the new gear. So there's quite a few things in there. You'll have to just kind of check them out in your own time. Try not to make a very, very long video here this evening. We will go into more depth and more detail for future videos, as we've been mentioning. There are some other things that you can unlock that we haven't been able to unlock yet. But anyway, so you can buy whatever you want from the workshop, and then it will go to your loadout, and then you can put that into the dropship cargo here and hit request. We already had a pod down, but we're going to go ahead and bring it up. And here comes my workshop gear. Oh, look, and it landed right in front of our little forward base here. And then you just gotta get into it, and you could take the items. And this also works for any gear that you have currently on planet. You can also deliver that to your workshop. So we could put this right back in there if we wanted to and hit deliver to station.
Danger. Danger. OES departing.
And we'll go over here, and we'll go over here to our orbital exchange interface, look at request equipment. And there it is. It's back in the workshop. So you can send equipment and get equipment now in open world at any time you want to. You don't have to upload anymore. Pretty cool, right? And thank you so much to the late night crew for supporting the channel. We would like to thank KHX, Wolfie, Sergio, Sandy, Silver, John, Diana, EMC2, Rob Knob, Novocaine, Aaron Scholes, sorry. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Juan Fontaine and Steady Bob are new members as well. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Also, don't forget, if you do join the Late Night Crew and you are in our Discord, which there is a link to it down below if you're interested in joining our ever-growing Discord of 200 plus people. But anyway, contact me if you become a Late Night Crew member on YouTube, and we'll give you a special rank on the Discord. We'll go through a verification, of course, but after that, we'll give you that special rank, and you'll be good to go. Thank you, everyone, for supporting the channel. And guys, that's it for this video. Don't forget, if you like what you see, to like, comment, subscribe. We're going to have tons of New Frontier videos coming out soon. Also going to have a new exotics video coming out soon, teaching you how to do the red exotics, and we are going to be doing streams for Icarus pretty much exclusively until Starfield comes out. So look forward to that, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Peace.